to be able to share screen. Dr. Dokora, it's indicating that the host disabled.
I've given you that right. I've said we can share, maybe it's just processing time then.
Okay, it's okay now. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you.
No participants. Right.
Are people seeing my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, please proceed.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so the screen they titled Unlocking the Introduction. Unlocking the introduction section. Think of your research paper's introduction as the thrilling trailer to an epic movie. A good trailer captivates the audience from the start, hints on the plot, introduces the protagonist, and leaves the audience excited for more. Here is how you can make your introduction do just that. Paragraph 1, setting the stage. In this critical first paragraph, focus on the problem context, problem statement, its relevancy, novelty, and what motivates your study. This is your chance to draw your reader into the world you're exploring and demonstrate why it matters. We'll see whether you guys manage to do that when we later on get to the introductions that you wrote, right? There are some introductions there, but because of our different backgrounds, the introduction may not really be in your area. But this one is from Sciences. Despite the non-critical role of gut microbiota in human health, the influence of dietary fibers on that gut microbial composition remains unexplored, something like that. We'll talk more about the expression, but what is important there is your introduction has to set the stage. It is supposed to indicate the problem context, the statement of the problem and its relevancy. You are talking about what motivates your study. Then the board paragraphs, which may not necessarily in the sequence that is being talked about here. You are building suspense. You get deeper, you discuss current developments, identify knowledge gaps, and discuss previous attempts to address them and their outcomes. This is your opportunity to build a strong case for the need for your study, right? I think we will just leave out the examples there. Then, your father is waiting for your study. A protagonist on a quest. State your research question, explain the intent of your study, highlight the novelty of your approach or insights, and discuss the potential implications of your findings. So it's important to note that a well-crafted introduction not only is the context, but also gives readers curiosity, persuades them of the importance of your study, in your reader, and of your paper, which we are talking about here is a movie. You are trying to indicate what your readers are going to benefit from reading the paper, from going through your manuscript. So basically, this is very important when it comes to introduction. Right, let's talk about context. Context. Start by establishing the broader context of your research topic, right? And then you clearly define the specific problem or research gap that your study addresses. And then you move on to relevancy. You use previous literature to demonstrate the implications of the problem. On novelty, you highlight the innovative aspects of your study that distinguish it from previous research. This should be the hook that links the relevancy and the motivation in terms of your study. On motivation, elaborate on the significance and urgency of your research, linking it to the problem statement, relevancy, and novelty. So I was just trying to emphasize the importance of some key elements which you are supposed to always include on your introduction, depending on your area of specialization or discipline. The way you frame your introduction might be different in terms of whether you are going to start by whether you are going to stick to the order that is indicated there, that you start with context, problem statement, relevancy, novelty, motivation, and you try to relate that to literature. But what we should all agree on is that after we have read the various introductions of good papers, these components will always be there. Whether your background is business, social sciences, natural sciences, any other area, these components are very important. They must be clearly captured on your introduction. Then what I wanted us to do before we move to the next, I wanted us to try and get some introductions, which you did, so that we can assess the components of an introduction of a research paper using the assignments which you did. If we can have one group which can actually share screen, and then we try to evaluate their introduction, that would help us. We may not be able to do that for all the groups, but at least if we can pick some assignments and try to evaluate them or make some comments on their introductions, that would be very helpful. Do we have any group that have got their introduction ready so that they can I can stop sharing and then they share screen before we move on to other aspects? Are there any do we have a group that is ready to share their screen so that I can stop sharing?
I don't see any indication for now. Maybe they're still
so let me just proceed.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, thank you.
Tafadzwa Madzimure has raised a hand there. So maybe you can give
That's
Tafadzwa.
good.
I
So,
share the introduction from our group.
good. So let me stop sharing.
And Tafadzwa, you can look at the bottom there and share your screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm trying to stop sharing here.
On the right side of that middle section of your ribbon. Okay. Tafadzwa, we are waiting for you to share your screen.
Yes, I am sharing. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. It's uploading, I think.
Not yet.
You see anything?
Yes, we can see something. Can you, I think it's, can you zoom it a bit? It's too small.
I'm sure my screen is now sharing.
Enlarge the presentation you have on the screen. Just pull the right or left side of that paper.
Right.
You know, I've got a green border there, so just to, use your mouse to pull the sides of that thing, or the zoom indication at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Enlarge the paper view. In other words, the borders of that presentation,
Yes.
not the text itself, the border. You got the text and then the white space and then the green line bordering your presentation there. Trying to hold that and stretch it to sideways.
Yes, I did.
And we are getting a warning for 10 minutes to go. That's fine.
Can you see clearly? If I'm using a phone, maybe that's the challenge.
Or you're using your phone.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is where the problem is.
Yeah. It doesn't really quite work. Maybe read the relevant section you want to take note of. Be guided by Dr. Jaravaza.
Okay, maybe let me just read the first statement. Our topic was an analysis of the impact of artificial intelligence on human resource management in small to medium enterprises in Zimbabwe. Then the introduction. Technology is one of the major influential factors in an industry. Since the 19th century, the role of robots has been replacing employees in production departments. In third revolution began in the year of 1970s, personal computers and the internet entered into working life and human labor were replaced by machines. I'm sure that's the first paragraph that we have.
Thank you, Tafadzwa. Now, let's go back to those components that we were talking about. Have you managed to hook the reader on the first paragraph in terms of indicating the components that are necessary?
Yes, I'm sure we did that because we try to get into the broader aspect of the research topic. So we started with the technological context, and then we go down to the human resource part. So I'm sure we have managed to grasp all the aspects of the good introduction.
All right, others, what did you pick from that introduction? I would have liked if they yes, someone wants to talk. Kudakwashe? Did you manage to follow the introduction that were given by tafadzwa? We wanted some reactions to the introduction, the first paragraph rather.
Thank you, Doc. It's Admire speaking here. I think the issue of novelty has not been grasped very well there because they just said SME in Zimbabwe. But now we are not sure whether this research has not been conducted before. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other issue? We should be able to evaluate that that introduction. If we managed at least to go back, you see, the problem is we are supposed to write in a manner that hooks readers to be interested in our write-up.
Hello, doctor. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right, thank you. Right, I heard you sometime you talked about not just to put a history about what you'd want to study on. You were saying about the introduction writing, just go exactly where would you want to start from. So I can see the writer was much worried about the history. I don't know if I'm picking the right, the correct, if I picked it correctly. Thank you.
Right, that's one issue that I picked from that introduction. What else? Probably we need to revisit the.
Okay.
If you have got the, if you still have what we indicated as components that must be included on the first paragraph, that's what I just want you to check. You will actually be able to, the presentation I did today was just to refresh you again on what components are necessary when you are writing an introduction. And so, as we try to evaluate this, let's check so that we can be making some reasonable evaluations of that introduction. What else?
Hello, doctor.
Yes.
I don't think if it is necessary again on the aspect of coherence. I did not see the coherence or the connectivity between the topic, the research topic, with the context of that that introduction. In other ways, I can see that introduction.
Okay. I think we've lost who was giving us an evaluation.
All right, it's Nyamashuka again.
Yes.
I was saying the writer or the author is a little bit parallel to what a topic which they have been said to put a research on. I think I suggest that there is a little or no coherence between the context or the thesis of the topic with the way that the writers started their story. I think the impact section should be they should have to address the impact start. For example, I think they were talking about the impact of artificial intelligence. So meaning to say, I think maybe they should start with something like a little bit negative pre or before the impact of that artificial intelligence. I don't know if you are getting what I'm trying to explore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm following. I hope others are also understanding what we're talking about here, that if you go back to what we discussed last time on our session, I presented to you the structure of an introduction, and we said we want the first paragraph to identify the domain and state the purpose objective. So the reader must be very clear on your aim from the introduction. Demonstrate the importance of the central study domain. You might be